Anthropology is defined as the science devoted to the study of ancient and modern human beings and their lifestyles. Anthropology has different branches that help study the ancient days.
Historical particularism, historical background and period. Created in the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century as a response of the expanded theories of culture. Postulates. Cultures change in their own way based on their unique history. Focus on detailed studies of single societies instead of big. Helps advance cultural relativism, canceling the idea that societies are more advanced than others. Defends that race, language, and culture are different and not linked. Principal representative and principal texts. Franz Boas, 1858 to 1942, he's the founder of historical particularism. The Mind of Primitive Man, 1911. Challenges racial and cultural problems. Race, Language, and Culture, 1940. Emphasizes the autonomy of these three factors.
Diffusionism. Historical background. It started with the intention of understanding the distribution of the culture in terms of the origin of culture traits and their spread from one society to another. Period. The research of diffusionism originated in the middle 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. The main postulate of diffusionism are cultural traits, originate in a few core areas. It is the primary mechanism of cultural change. Cultures do not evolve in isolation. Cultural traits can be modified. Cultural traits spread through trade, exploration, intermarriage, conquest, and other forms of human interaction. Their main representatives are Clark Whistler and Alfred Crowberg, Elliott Smith, Bronislaw Malinowski, Herbert Spindler, and Alexander Golden-Weisler. And their most important texts are Anthropogeography from 1882 to 1891 by Friedrich Ratzel, The Migrations of Early Culture in 1950 by Elliott Smith, The Childhood of Man in 1909 by Leo Frobenius, between others.
Functionalism. Functionalism emerged in the late 19th and 20th centuries, influenced by the rapid changes brought by industrialization. The scholars sought to understand how societies maintain cohesion despite social transformations, and this position is represented by British researcher Bronislaw Malinowski. It gained prominence between the 1800s and mid-1900s, but later faced criticism, especially from conflict theories and symbolic interactionism. Postulates of functionalism. The two main postulates of functionalism are: society is a system. It consists of interrelated parts that function together. Social stability is key. Societies naturally seek equilibrium. Main representatives and key works. Emil Durkheim from 1858 to 1917. Considered the father of functionalism, he explored social cohesion and the role of institutions. His works include The Division of Labor in Society, 1893, and Suicide from 1897. Robert K. Merton from 1910 to 2003, he refined functionalism, introducing the concepts of manifest and latent functions. Some societal functions are intentional while others are unintended. His book, Social Theory and Social Structure from 1949, was groundbreaking.
Now, evolutionism. Historical background. After World War II, Leslie White re-examines the evolutionist paradigm. The works of Morgan are re-examined, and his contributions to the science of culture are redeemed. Julian Stewart and his cultural ecology proposes to include the influence of natural environment. Period. It emerged in the mid-20th century, but the neo-evolutionary anthropological thought emerged in the 1940s. It postulates that cultural evolution is not unilinear. Social complexity increases with adaptation. Energy and technological advancement drive evolution, and empirical and scientific approach. The main representatives of neo-evolutionism are Leslie A. White and Julian H. Stedward.
French structuralism appeared in France during the 15th and 16th. Instead of focusing on individual experiences, the thinkers of this current sought to understand culture, society, and language. Historical context. During the 50s and 60s, France's weighted focus on individual freedom dominated the ascent. However, some thinkers began to question this perspective, suggesting that our decisions and behaviors are largely predetermined by underlying structures such as language and cultural norms. This change gave rise to structuralism. Postulates interconnected relationships. Cultural elements have no meaning by themselves. Their meaning arises from their relationship with other elements. Underlying systems, practice, and beliefs are governed by rules and structures. Universality of structures. All cultures share similar patterns that shape human thought and behavior. Main representatives and their outstanding works. Claude Lévi-Strauss, considered the father of structural anthropology. He explores how universal mental structures are reflected in myths and systems. His work, The Elementary Structures of Kinship, is fundamental in this field. Jacques Lacan, psychoanalyst who reinterpreted Freud's theory, emphasizing the structure of languages in their information of the unconscious. His writers complete his most influential ideas. Alois Althusser, Marxist philosopher who applied structuralism to the analysis of ideologies and social structures in To Read Capital. He offers a new interpretation of Marxism.
Culture and personality. This movement was shaped by Freudian psychology, which emphasized childhood experiences and the unconscious mind. Anthropologists began applying these concepts to the study of different societies, arguing that culture plays a key role in shaping personality traits. The Culture and Personality School developed between the 1920s and 1950s when anthropologists were looking beyond material culture and social structures to understand how individuals internalized cultural norms. Postulates of culture and personality theory. There are two main postulates of this school, and they are: culture shapes personality. Individuals develop psychological traits that are based on the values, norms, and practices of their cultures. Childhood experiences are key. The way children are raised in different societies influences their adult behavior and worldview. Main representatives and key works. Margaret Mead from 1901 to 1978. She was one of the most famous anthropologists and studied adolescence and gender roles in different cultures. Her book, Coming of Age in Samoa from 1928, argued that cultural factors, not just biology, shapes personality development. Erich Fromm, 1900 to 1980. Though more of a social psychologist, his work in the relationship between society and the unconscious mind contributed to the discussion. His book, Escape from Freedom from 1941, examined how personality is shaped by social structures.